These are your inequalities. Inequalities are like the less than sign, greater than sign, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And when we go to solve these, once you solve them, then you're going to have to graph them. But we do not graph them on like a coordinate XY plane. We graph them on a number line, like these little number lines right here. When I graph them, I always put like whatever number they give me. I usually put it in the middle, and then I create my number line from that. These ones, I actually gave you number lines, so that whole situation kind of goes out the window for that. Later on, when we start going through the notes and they don't give you number lines, or like if you look on the next page, they don't actually put numbers on the number lines, that'll be tomorrow. You'll see what I mean by that. So to graph these, as you can see, we've got less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So there are different inequalities that you're going to have to graph, and that's what you always start with, is looking at the actual inequality. If you have a less than or if you have a greater than sign. So the less than sign or the greater than sign. Notice there's no equal to underneath it. If you have just the less than or just the greater than, you use an open circle. This will all make sense here in a second. So if you have just the less than, or if you have just the greater than, when you go to graph these, you're going to use an open circle on that number on the number line. If you have a less than or equal to, or a greater than or equal to, you're going to use a closed circle. All of your graphs today will either have a closed circle or an open circle, and then you're going to shade the number line either to the left or to the right, depending on what the inequality is. So we're going to do all four of these together, and then your assignment, which is on a Google slide, you will do on your own. You're not actually going to have to draw circles and shade and stuff. Like, you're going to have to, it's kind of fun. But again, I say fun very lightly because you probably won't find it super fun. So if we take a look at number one, and I'm almost sure that as soon as I get done with number one, you're going to understand how to do all the rest of them. So for number one, it says x is less than 2. So tomorrow, you're going to have to go through and figure out, like, solve and get it down to this point. Today, we're just giving you the inequality, and all you have to do is graph it. So if it says x is less than 2, so you go to 2, and you have a couple of options. You can either graph it on the actual number line, or you can graph it above the number line. I am a above the number line person. Some teachers like to do it on the number line. I don't care what you do. You just have to make it super obvious to me whether it's an open or a closed circle and which way you're shading. I'll show both for those that want to see both. So you go to 2, and then you look at your inequality. It is in a less than sign. So a less than sign gets an open circle. So I go to 2 and I put an open circle. You have to be obvious about it being open. Some people like to draw the really tiny circles. Like, it needs to be like, especially if you do it on the number line, you need to have open circle. Obnoxious. Be obnoxious. I'm okay with you being obnoxious. After you've drawn your circle, now you need to go back and you're going to shade where the solutions are. So the solutions to this inequality are the x values that are less than 2. So looking at your circle, where are the x values that are less than 2? To the left or to the right? Left or right? Left. So less than 2 would include 1, 0, -1, so on and so forth. So I'm going to draw my line to the left. So if you do it above the line, that's what you would do. If you want to do it on the actual line, you're going to have to shade and make it obvious and obnoxious to me that this is where the solutions are. Personally, I think it looks cleaner going above the line, but I don't care. As long as it's got an open circle and there's something showing me that it goes to the left, these are the solutions. And that's it. I see people already working on the next 3. Let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, it says x is less than or equal to 2. So I go to 2. And now this time I have an equal to. So that means open or closed circle. Closed. So that means I draw a dot and I actually fill it in. This one I'm only going to do above the line because on the line, my type A personality can't handle it. It just looks so gross and dirty. So once you've filled in your dot, you go back to your inequality and it is a less than. So do I shade or draw my line to the left or to the right? Where are the x values that are less than 2? To the left of 2 or to the right of 2? To the left, because the numbers that are less than 2 are 1, 0, like 3 and 4 and 5 are not less than 2. Hopefully you know that. Ugh. So I'll go to the left, and I'm good to go. That's it. Oh, it looks so much better than this first one. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to handle looking at that. Ugh. I want you to try 3 and 4 on your own. Try 3 and 4 on your own. All right, let's take a look, see how we did. Number 3. Do you have an open or closed circle at -1? Open. And then did you draw or shade to the left or to the right?
Right.
To the right. Because it says greater than. So all the numbers that are greater than -1 are to the right. So that's what you should have for 3. And then for 4, do you have an open or a closed circle at -1? Closed. And now this one, do you have shaded to the left or to the right? To the right. Because this is a greater than sign. Any questions on that? Well, we're easing into this. This is just the graphing part. Tomorrow, we get to solving. Which, looking at those, they look exactly like